before the Lord. And I think Jesus really understood that. Honestly, I really do. I think Jesus understood that even in his life as he shows it. Look at Luke chapter 5. Jesus ends up healing a man with leprosy. And he tells them, in verse 14, don't tell anyone, but go show yourself to the priest and offer sacrifices that Moses commanded for your cleansing as a testimony to them. Well, you know what? When such a great miracle happens, the word gets out, right? You know, you can't hide something like that God has done in such a powerful way. And that's what it says in verse 15. Yet news about him spread all the more, so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sickness. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. You know what? I think this, for us today, is probably one of the most valuable lessons that we can learn from Jesus Christ. Is that regardless of all the hustle and bustle that was around Jesus, what did he do?
Got away.
He left the hustle and bustle. And he went to pray. Now for Jesus, you got to understand something. That meant leaving his preaching, his teaching. That meant leaving the sick and the helpless and the crippled. And he would just leave them. He knew they needed help. He knew they needed care. He knew there were demands being placed on him and there was so much going on in his life. And yet what did he do? He left all of that and he walked away to pray. Now, I believe something about Jesus Christ, and you are welcome to disagree with me. But I don't believe that Jesus went out and prayed many words. And Jesus would go out and pray a long time. You know, hours. Sometimes a whole night. But nowhere do I see Jesus praying lengthy prayers. You know, even the longest prayer that Jesus is recorded praying is John 17, and I can read it in all of a minute. I don't think Jesus prayed a lot. Even in the Gethsemane, it only records him praying one thing. Just one thing. For 3 hours, just one thing. I honestly believe that Jesus' prayers were more reflective than they were wordy. And it's actually what he holds the sinful man up for. He says, you know, that Pharisee, he prays thinking that he'll be heard because of his many words. But this guy, he just exposed his heart. God, forgive me, I'm a sinner. And that was it. And he was held up for his prayer. Honestly, I think that's how Jesus prayed. I think he prayed very concise. I think he prayed, he got his heart out there, and then he listened. I really believe that he listened for God's answer. And his prayer was more reflective. But the key in all of this is he took that kind of time out of his life. You know, it's crazy, our lives today. Having to be filled with something. Our time has to be filled with something. Even our downtime, we're filling ourselves with something.
Yeah.
And that the world is just getting busier and busier, so are we. And we are trying to fit God around our busy schedule rather than the other way around.
Right.
I've got a challenge for us this Christmas season. Don't miss the birth of Christ. Don't miss your relationship with God. My challenge for you is before you learn how to pray, you need to learn how to walk away. That's my challenge for you. need to learn how to walk away. You need to learn how to let life be life for a little while without you. Put your phone away. Turn anything electronic off. Tell your family, I'm going to be gone for just a little while. You will live without me. And every day, just take some time to be with God. Just you and God and God. And as you pray, pray. I want you to not pray. But I want you to listen. And be silent before God for a little while. In God's temple. Expose your heart. But have a reflective, undisturbed, not concerned about all of the things that you're missing, prayer. Because I know how it is. A lot of times we're rushing our quiet times because we've got to get here or get there. And I know the feeling that puts, the anxiety that puts on all of us. But you know what? Has that ever went away? When you rushed to get there, did you get everything done that you needed to get done? No. When you're at work, do you ever complete all your work? There's something there for the next day, isn't there? Always. You know, there's always another client. There's always another task. There's always something else to do. Learn how to walk away. Your kids will always demand something else of you. If you're around and they're around, they're going to ask something. They're going to want something. They're going to need something, even if it's refereeing between the fight that they're having between each other. They will be okay. Walk away. It's probably one of the simplest requests, but one of the most challenging requests in our day and age. Is do not miss the birth of Christ. Learn how to walk away this Christmas season. Walk away from your worries. Otherwise, it becomes a season of expectations and disappointments.